Good evening, everyone. This CPOC Commissioners meeting is hereby called to order. The time is now 6:11 p.m. My name is Malika Rahman, and I am the Vice Chair of the Citizens Police Oversight Commission. I will facilitate tonight's meeting on behalf of our Chair, Hassan Bennett. This is a public meeting of the
Meeting of the
Citizens Police
Citizens Police
Oversight
Oversight
Commission.
Commission.
Carrie, can
Karen,
you
can you,
mute Commissioner?
Commissioner?
I believe
I
it's
believe it's
Sarah
Sarah
Bennett.
Bennett.
Thank you. This is a public meeting of the Citizens Police Oversight Commission, and this meeting was properly advertised pursuant to the Pennsylvania Sunshine Act. We will now take our commissioners' roll call. Commissioner Melanie DuBose.
I am present. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Commissioner DuBose. Commissioner Michelle Enix Kinney.
Commissioner Michelle Enix Kenny, present. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Commissioner Enix Kinney. Commissioner Gilberto Gonzalez.
Commissioner Gonzalez present. Hello, everyone.
Good evening, Commissioner Gonzalez. Commissioner Erica Stewart.
Commissioner Erica Stewart present. Good evening, everyone.
Thank you, Commissioner Stewart. Good evening. Our Chair, Commissioner Bennett.
Commissioner Bennett is present. Good
Good
evening.
evening. Thank you. And I am here. I'm Vice Chair Rockmont, and I am present. For the record, Commissioner Hakeem P.A., Commissioner Latanya Whitehead, and Commissioner John Solomon have reported their excused absences prior to tonight's meeting. For our meeting agenda, have all commissioners had an opportunity to read and review tonight's meeting agenda?
Yes.
All right. Do we have any commissioners who have not had an opportunity to read and review tonight's meeting agenda? All right. Do I hear a motion to accept and approve tonight's meeting agenda?
This is Commissioner DuBose. I move for the approval of tonight's agenda.
Thank you, Commissioner DuBose, for that motion to approve tonight's meeting agenda. Does anyone second that motion?
Commissioner Michelle Enix Kenny, I second that motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Michelle Enix Kinney, for seconding that motion. Let us now take a vote. All those in favor of approving tonight's meeting agenda, please say aye.
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 Any commissioners that oppose, say nay. The ayes have it. Tonight's meeting agenda has been approved, and we will now turn it over for the agency report. Executive Director McCleary.
Good evening, everyone. We will have the slides up in just a moment.
One second, guys. My computer's a little cattywampus today.
Okay, really quick, Carrie, can you possibly make me host? That way I can share my screen.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So we can go to the first slide, please. So the Citizens Police Oversight Commission mission is to oversee and investigate the conduct, policies, and practices of the Philadelphia Police Department. And so currently CPOC receives complaints of police misconduct, receives commendations to celebrate officers who go above and beyond the call of duty, audits and monitors internal affairs investigations and police disciplinary processes, sits and votes on PBI panels at police discipline hearings, conducts oversight of police shootings, analyzes police data, develop policy recommendations and reports, and engages in outreach and training. And every meeting, we always want to remind people why civilian oversight is necessary. And so it protects human rights, it promotes constitutional policing, it increases public confidence and trust in the police, it builds bridges between law enforcement and the public, and it supports effective policing and ensures greater accountability and enhances risk management. And so I always like to give an example of one of these. And so one of the ways that oversight agency like CPOC helps bridge the gap between law enforcement and the public is to work closely with the department. So, like, for example, I think a lot of you have seen that the police department, I think in the first time in its history, actually did a strategic plan that focuses a lot on community and community engagement. And so one of the things that we are hoping to do with CPOC is to work with them to figure out if there's ways that naturally make sense for our commission to partner with them to do work in the community. And so when we can partner with them to achieve the goals that they're trying to achieve and make sure that they're doing them in a way that doesn't cause harm to the community, that doesn't cause undue impact, that's a way that we bridge the gap between the law enforcement and the public. And so that's really important because one of the projects that you will hear about more closely at the end of the month is something that we have launched called Am I Free to Leave, about mirror encounters. And so mirror encounters, the name is very misleading because it makes it seem like it's just very, just kind of touch and go, like, hey, how you doing today, sir? Or, hey, how you doing today, ma'am? And unfortunately, what we're starting to see is a potential pattern here in the city of Philadelphia where the quote unquote mirror encounters are anything but mirror, where people are actually being stopped, where people are saying, can you lift up your shirt? Do you have a gun? Can we search your backpack? And what I want to say to the public that the reason why it's concerning is because these are people where there is no rhyme or reason to why they're being stopped. Most of the time when people are stopped, there has to be what's called reasonable suspicion. Like the officer has to have a reason to be stopping you. With a mere encounter, they don't have to have that reason, or they don't have to tell you why they have that reason. And so we really could see people literally just, I think a lot of you saw the NBC 10 News story when we launched this project about a gentleman that was literally coming home eating an ice cream cone. Standing on his porch, he dropped his keys, and you see two police officers from PPD come up and say, how you doing, sir? What's going on? You're looking nervous. You got any guns on you? Can we search the little fanny pack that he had on him? And you hear how he felt about that. And so that's one of the ways that we bridge the gap is to help law enforcement understand the impact of what they do So can the police department do mirror encounters? Yes. But what is the impact of how officers are doing it here in the city of Philadelphia? And so those are two examples where we're going to be working with them on their strategic plan to help them achieve the things that they're trying to achieve around community engagement, but also bringing patterns and practices to them that impact their feel on the community. Because we need to help lessen that impact. And by helping them to lessen that impact, we bridge that gap between law enforcement and the public. Next slide, please. All right, so I'm going to turn it over to Sarah Mayo, who I'm very excited. Our senior investigator is out of the office on leave at this time. And so it's always wonderful to have just very competent staff in the office that can step in. And so, Sarah, I'm going to turn it over to you to talk about investigations that happened in the month of July.
Great. Thank you. Thank you everyone for having me again. It's been a great opportunity to be able to step in for Jeff while he's out. But yeah, so for officer involved shootings, there were 2 police shootings at police in July. As you know, CPOC tracks all police shootings, and that includes every time a PPD officer discharges their firearm at a person or an animal. And so we're going to go over the discharges of people in July. And as of the end of July of 2026, there have been 7 police shootings at people. And we maintain a website that updates the public on police shootings shortly after they occur. There's a list there. And the website provides an overview of PPD's procedures, CPOC's role, and all the necessary details of the shootings towards people. Next slide, please. Yeah, so the first was July 2nd, 2026. It was on the 3600 block of St. Christopher's Drive and 160 East Erie Avenue. On July 2nd of this year, at approximately 10:21 in the morning, PPD officers responded to a call for a person with a weapon near St. Christopher's Hospital for Children. It was determined that the original 911 caller was a family member of the person who was a male with a weapon, and that they had contacted police out of concern that the male was experiencing a mental health crisis and that he was potentially suicidal. The investigation further revealed that around the time of the 911 call, the male had been directed to leave the property by hospital security, and that the male had already been asked to leave the hospital area the day before, and he was no longer permitted to be on the property. 2 25th District officers arrived and were met by a hospital security officer who directed them to a bus stop that was in the near vicinity where the male had last been seen. The officers arrived and they observed a 32-year-old black male standing near a 29-year-old black female. Officer Lindsay exited. Oh, thank you. Officer Lindsay exited the patrol vehicle, and the male began moving backwards and simultaneously removed the handgun from his waistband. Officer Lindsay then discharged his firearm and struck the male multiple times. And we can move on. Thank you. The male was then transported by police to Temple University Hospital, where he was pronounced dead at 10:44 in the morning. And the female sustained a graze wound to the side of her neck, and she was also transported to Temple University Hospital, where she was treated for the injury. Officers recovered a Smith & Wesson pistol at the scene alongside the male, and the pistol was legally registered to the male, and he did possess a valid Pennsylvania license to carry. Both of the officers were equipped with body-worn cameras, which were activated, and they did capture the incident. And the shooting is being investigated by PPD's Officer Involved Shootings Investigations Unit, the Internal Affairs Bureau, and also the District Attorney's Office. And as per PPD policy, with every discharge, Officer Lindsay has been placed on admin duty pending the outcome of the investigation. And then on the next slide, we have a little video clip that goes over the details. Is anyone hearing audio for this clip? Or maybe that's just, all right. Let's see. The video does have sound. Carrie, I don't know if there's like an audio setting while sharing the screen.
Unfortunately, I can't hear it. So, like, my volume keeps going in and out.
Okay.
Yeah, if you can, is there a way, I think Talia said she can take over host privileges? If Carrie, if your computer is not acting properly. Yeah, maybe we can just pause the video for a second.
Can you hear anything?
No, I would unshare because a lot of times you have to click off the sound before you start sharing. So maybe unshare and just make sure the sound buttons are clicked.
Continue to follow our breaking news out of Hunting.
Thank you, Carrie. We can hear it now.
Continue to follow our breaking news out of Hunting Park. Investigators say an armed man was shot by Philadelphia police just outside of St. Christopher's Hospital for Children this morning. Police say a woman with that man was also critically injured.
Let's go to Action News reporter Trish Hartman live for us at the scene in Hunting Park with the latest on this gunfire. Trish?
Yeah, John, Sarah, police just gave an update a few minutes ago. Like you said, that man has died. He was shot by police outside of the hospital, and that woman in critical condition. I want to show you a little bit of the scene here. It's still very active. Lots of investigators and vehicles there near St. Chris's Drive, near where this happens, just outside of St. Christopher's Children's Hospital. One man was shot and killed by police around 10:30 this morning. Now, like we said, police say a woman was standing next to this man in critical condition at this point. We don't know yet if she was shot, but she is in stable but critical condition at Temple University Hospital. Now, Chopper 6 was overhead of the scene shortly after this happened, around 10:30 this morning. And from Chopper 6, we could see a shot of a weapon in the bushes, a gun in the bushes near where this happened. Now, we don't know yet if the man or woman had any connection to the hospital. Police did say that they believe the man was suffering from some sort of mental health issue. Now, no word yet on how this affected hospital operations. Back out here live outside of St. Christopher's Hospital, we are still waiting to learn more information about why all of this happened and the events that led up to it. Again, one man shot and killed by police, and one woman is in critical condition. We're live in Hunting Park. Trish Hartman, Channel 6, Action News. Sarah.
Okay, Trish, thank you.
Okay, great. And then yep, and then the second discharge, or excuse me, the second shooting at a person in July was out of Philadelphia jurisdiction. It was an off-duty discharge from an officer. So as you can see, we have quite a bit less detail on this one, but this information on this slide was what was shared through a public statement that was released by PPD. I'll read through it now. And then on the next slide, we have what the news has shared. And I do want to qualify this and state that this information is what was shared by PPD, and we're not speaking on behalf of the news in the next slide. That's just what other information has been shared externally. So on July 24th, 2026, in Northampton County, off-duty PPD officer Kenroy Cummings was involved in a shooting incident and is currently under investigation by Pennsylvania State Police. But as far as administrative investigation, it's also being looked at by PPD's Internal Affairs Bureau. And so on the next slide, there's a clip with quite a bit more detail.
A 25-year-old off-duty Philadelphia police officer is being accused of killing his uncle, fleeing the scene, and leading police on a high-speed chase. Tonight, Kenroy Cummings is facing charges in connection with that deadly incident that took place in Allen Township, Northampton County. New court documents released today show Cummings admitted to shooting him, claiming, though, he was acting in self-defense. Action News reporter John Paul now with the full story.
There is a process underway at police headquarters tonight to remove Officer Kenroy Cummings as this case moves forward. New details tonight after an off-duty Philadelphia police officer allegedly admitted to shooting and killing his uncle in Allen Township, Northampton County on Friday night. Action News obtained the official department photo of 25-year-old Kenroy Cummings. The 2-year veteran of the force claims the shooting was in self-defense. Today, we also obtained the criminal complaint. It details the events that unfolded inside this home on Old Gate Road. Investigators say a juvenile contacted Cummings and other family members saying that Shakir Moncrief had threatened him. The complaint says Cummings confronted Moncrief, his uncle, before shooting him 6 times in the head and fleeing.
So we train our men and women in de-escalation. We train our men and women to not to use deadly force.
Today, Philadelphia Police Commissioner Kevin Bethel discussed the case, saying they don't have all the information, but they're taking steps to remove Cummings from the force.
But it's a tragedy, when we have a police officer take the lives of someone, and so we're investigating that matter. We'll take the appropriate action.
After the deadly shooting, police say Cummings led them on a chase, reaching speeds up to 100 miles per hour before eventually returning to the scene and surrendering. According to the affidavit, he admitted to shooting Moncrief multiple times. He also alleged that the shooting was in self-defense. Cummings claims Moncrief was reaching for a gun, but he drew his first.
As it stands now, with the officer being charged with the homicide, we will now move for the officer. Will be as we go through this process, we have a process to go.
Tonight, he's facing criminal homicide and charges of fleeing and eluding. Now, this case is being handled by Pennsylvania State Police. Cummings remains in jail tonight. At police headquarters, John Paul, Channel 6 Action News.
All right, great. Thank you. That concludes what I prepared for my slides going over the OISs, and I'm going to pass it back to our director and to Commissioner Bennett.
Great. So Commissioner Bennett, we'll turn it over to you for questions and et cetera, comments.
Commissioners, does anyone have any questions or comments for the OIC and the investigation team? With that being said, I appreciate our staff investigator, Sarah Mio. Did I pronounce your name right?
Very close, Mayo, but it's all the same.
Mayo. Okay, I want to get it right. I don't like people mispronouncing my name, so I'm not going to mispronounce your name. You did an amazing job. It is always a pleasure to hear other than our directors and to see how invested the staff are in business. So thank you. I appreciate you. I hope to hear from you again.
Thank you.
Carrie, can you go back to the slide with the description of that shooting, please? So I just want to use this as a teaching moment for not necessarily our commissioners, because they know this, but for the community. So when a police shooting happens outside of the jurisdiction, the local police department, or in this case, the state police, actually do the investigation. So I just want people to understand that what PPD will do, what Commissioner Bethel was talking about, is they will look at it administratively to see if there are any administrative problems from their perspective about this shooting. Because some people might say, well, how can they let this officer go if it's, if he's just been accused of this and there hasn't been a criminal trial, etc. And so, but the police department, even outside of that process, can look and see if there are administrative violations that rise to the level of an officer being fired from the department. And so I also want people to understand that when it's out of the jurisdiction, CPOC does not respond. Because hopefully everybody understands we only have jurisdiction over the Philadelphia Police Department. So if we had gone out to Northampton County, there was a good chance that their police would not have let us on the scene because we don't oversee that department. So I just wanted, this is the first time I think we presented something like this to you all, where there has been a shooting of a person by an officer outside of the jurisdiction. And so I wanted to use this as a teaching moment to understand, A, if somebody says, well, why didn't CPOC staff go out to the scene? Well, we don't have jurisdiction in Northampton County in this example. And the police department, so that's the same thing that happens here. So if an officer from say somebody from Northampton was in Philadelphia and did a shooting, we would investigate the shooting part, the potential criminal part, and their police department would handle things administratively. So I just wanted to bring that out so that people understand the kind of how jurisdictions work when people are crossing lines. And so if there's, I don't know if there's any questions based on that. So I will see if anybody has any questions based on that. And then if not, we will go to outreach. All right. Well, hearing none, Director Grimmage, we're going to turn it over to you.
All right. Can everybody hear me? Yes? Thumbs up?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. And yes, it is Talia Grimmage, not Grimmage, as some people say. Since we're talking about how we pronounce last names. I'm just waiting for the slide to come up and then we can.
Chair Bennett, you're not muted. And, it's a little bit of interference. If you can mute yourself, please.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Talia Grimmage. I am the director of the Community Engagement, Constituent Services, and Education Division. I have the esteemed privilege of leading a team of dynamic community outreach folks who are usually out in the community. A lot of times when people learn about CPOC, it is because perhaps they've met one of our commissioners or they have met someone from the outreach team at a resource event. Perhaps they've seen us out in the community when we are giving talks and lectures about oversight, or maybe they come in contact with us at a school. But these are usually the individuals that people meet when they meet CPOC for the first time. We can go to the next slide. So as I do every month, I just want to make sure that I'm highlighting some important things that people should keep in mind. And so August is National Black Business Month. Definitely want to take some time to highlight that. And we have an organization spotlight. It is the African American Chamber of Commerce, which is an extensive network of corporations and businesses that can engage with policymakers and business leaders across the region. In addition to exposure to valuable marketing opportunities, members can participate in programming that enables them to build a powerful network to help their businesses grow. And so if you are interested for National Black Business Month to find a Black-owned business, there is a link there. There is a lovely guide, visitphilly.com, that lists many of the shops and boutiques in the city of Philadelphia that you can visit if you would like to, in honor of National Black Business Month. So I wanted to just take a minute and talk a little bit about the Business Safe Camera Program. This is something that is sponsored by the Department of Commerce. And so it enhances public safety. And basically this program targets businesses in some of the business corridors throughout the city. And so they will provide 100% funding for businesses in various commercial corridors. They will help purchase and install exterior security cameras. So this is very useful to a lot of businesses. I'm highlighting it here, but it's not just obviously Black-owned businesses, any businesses that are located in the Frankfurt Avenue, 52nd Street, Broad Street, Germantown and Erie, Lancaster Avenue, South 9th Street, Hunting Park, North 5th Street, Wyoming Avenue. All of those commercial corridors are eligible. And so in order to qualify for the Business Safe CAM program, you have to hire an approved contractor. They have a whole list on the city's website that you can choose from. And you have to register those cameras with the police department. And so that allows PPD, if there are any incidents or anything that happens in the area, they can access the footage in case of a crime. So you would just have to register those cameras, but the city will pay 100% of the funding for any businesses in the corridors that I mentioned. More information can be found on the Department of Commerce's website. And I can tell you, as a longtime city employee, it was not always 100%. So that's good to know that they have increased funding because it was a little bit less than that some years ago. Okay, we all know, listen, school is starting, and I wanted to just take some time to highlight just some of the public safety things we should keep in mind as some of our students are going back to school. Wanted to talk a little bit about the school safety officers. They provide security for all of the school district facilities, including extracurricular activities and some events that may take place on Saturdays. Patrols school grounds and the perimeters. They oversee building access and monitor all entrances and visitors that are coming into various schools. They build positive relationships with students, faculty, and staff, and the surrounding community, of course. And they respond and investigate incidents and disturbances with efficiency. So if you are interested in learning more about the school safety officers that will likely be stationed at schools in your community, you can visit that website there at the School District of Philadelphia. You can learn more about safety tips, resources, and how parents and guardians and students can file a complaint if they need to with the school safety officers. Next slide. Okay. Want to talk a little bit about PPD, Philadelphia Police Department Patrol Officers near schools. And so they handle dismissal coverage when schools are letting out. There are roughly 60 PPD officers that monitor high school dismissals and major transit hubs. Think Broad and Almy, 52nd Street, think the L, Bridge and Pratt. They have rolling patrols to lower grade elementary and middle schools. They have mobile rolling patrols during arrival and dismissal. And they also assist with corridor safety. And so PPD increases visibility along primary student walking routes following localized spikes in neighborhood violence or certain incidents. So you can reach out to your local police district if you want to see when patrols may be happening near a school near you. Next slide. Okay. And of course, we have SEPTA Transit Police. We're talking a little bit about all of the public safety officials that help with keeping students and educators safe during the school year. And so officers are deployed on trains and buses, particularly during peak travel times when students are commuting. Targeted patrols, you'll see SEPTA PD. They will intensify their patrols in areas where multiple schools converge, providing heightened security where it's needed most. So when there are several schools, there's a high school, an elementary school, a charter school, something else, all in one area, you will see some increased patrols because there are many students from many different ages all at once. They have virtual patrol units. SEPTA will utilize virtual patrol to monitor activity in real time and quickly dispatch officers when needed. And of course, they collaborate with the school district, obviously, as they are working to keep students and other folks safe. I did want to highlight that parents and students may want to download the SEPTA Transit Watch app. You can report things, you can contact them if you see anything, if you need assistance, and it's something that you may want to keep in mind. You know, a lot of times our students or our kids have things on their phone. Having the SEPTA Transit Watch app may be helpful if they're going to be using public transportation this school year. Okay, and so for August, These are the dates for our CAP hearings. As we say every month, CAPs are complaints against police. They are filed by members of the public. When those complaints are sustained, which means more likely than not, the allegation has occurred, they are scheduled for a PBI, Police Board of Inquiry hearing, and those hearings are open to the public. They take place at the Philadelphia Police Department headquarters on Broad Street at 10 a.m. And so if you would like to observe these hearings, you can reach out to CPOC, you can reach out to PPD directly, but certainly we can give you information on how to gain access to those hearings. Next slide, please. I'm going to take a break just for one moment. I'm not sure. Can you hear some background audio?
Not presently.
Okay.
No.
We are good.
Okay. Just wanted to double check. Yes. So August, National Night Out. That is a wonderful, wonderful celebration. I know we talked about it last month when we were anticipating it, but National Night Out was created back in 1981, and it happens all over the country. It takes place the first, I believe, Tuesday in August. And so every single police department and police district, I should say, in Philadelphia has National Night Out events. It is a great time to come out to meet, people that are working with the police department, different community organizations. You'll see, your Black captain. You see people from Town Watch Integrated Services. They actually host National Night Out every single year. They're sort of the, they spearhead it every year. But any and everyone that you need to know and you need to meet, your elected officials, everybody is there at National Night Out, which also means CPOC is there because we do not want to be left out of the mix. And so we always attend several different National Night Out events. This year, we went to the kickoff that kind of starts everything off for the month. August is also Public Safety Month. And so we attended the kickoff and also several events that took place during National Night Out. All right. So you can follow us. We have our hashtag here, we outside, as the kids say. CPOC Outreach, we are always booked and busy, so you can find us out in the community. Just to highlight a few things that we attended recently, we were at Councilmember Jeffrey Young's Summer Night Lights Community Forum. We went to Senator Street's Community Baby Shower. We went to HACE Central, the Block Party, and we attended a community block party in honor of Ariana DeJesus. I'm sure when I say that name, many of you immediately know about that case. Ariana DeJesus was a 5-year-old little girl remembered throughout Philadelphia. She was killed in July of 2000. She disappeared from the Fair Hill section and was a victim of homicide. Her mother keeps her memory alive with community events. And so it was really important for us to be there. And we participated in this community event for little Ariana. There are a couple of things in Philadelphia or cases, you say names and people, immediately remember where they were. Ariana DeJesus, I remember that picture of her right there with those pigtails. Soon as you say her name, that's the image, that comes to mind. Okay. We also spent some time with City Council President Kenyatta Johnson. He had a vet fest to support the veterans in the city. We spoke at the Captain's Town Hall in the 18th Police District. You probably know, but every police district has a monthly town hall where the captain, community relations officer, crime prevention officer, and victims assistance officers meet with district residents. They talk about crime in that district, trends that they're seeing, their policing needs and concerns, and resources available to community members. And so we spent some time at the 18th district at their Captain's Town Hall. We also, our outreach and training manager, Dr. Green, spoke to the Justice 122 class at CCP, led by Professor, our Vice Chair Rahman. And so that course, it explores the intersectionality of race, ethnicity, crime, and the functioning of the criminal justice system, more specifically, law enforcement and the courts. And so in this class, students examine the impact of race and ethnicity on the type of criminal activities and the response or reaction of law enforcement as a representative in our society. And so this is just a sample of the types of speaking opportunities that we have. You know, our training and outreach manager often will speak to college students and other people in the community. And so we definitely enjoy spending some time with our vice chair and her students. And I'll stop here just in case our vice chair, is there anything you might want to say or share about that class?
Just thank you. And I will just offer that this is an arm and an extension of the commitment that the commissioners have made for the education piece of what CPOC is, what CPOC does, that our engagement is not just limited to you seeing us in the community, but our engagement also includes our willingness and commitment to educate our community so that they are empowered not just to know steps and processes, but to actively participate in their communities as well. So thank you for not just accepting the invitation, but coming with that understanding in mind that the goal is to educate so that we can empower.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, Vice Chair, I appreciate your comments. You know, whenever we are out in the community and we're doing a presentation about CPOC and we talk about our commissioners, we make it a point to just explain to people that each of you come with such a wealth of experience. You're professionals in your own right. You're community activists, organizers, so that sometimes you see commissioners and you're like, oh, okay, that's a board, you know, but we always make it a point to explain to people that these faces that you see on the screen, you know, they are out in the community doing work all the time. And even though you see us, you know, twice a month, there's so much rich professionalism and expertise that we have on this commission. So I just wanted to highlight that as well. Next slide. Okay. I don't know if there's much I can add because our executive director did talk about our Am I Free to Leave project, Mirror Encounters, that we are working on. I did post the video that our executive director mentioned with the young man that was on the news and talked about his experience. The agency has reached out to him and made contact. So I'm not sure if Edie McCleary, should we play the video or do you want to just, okay.
Turning the page to this now. Am I free to leave? That is the question an oversight group is asking Philadelphia police about a certain type of interaction officers are having with the public.
They are called mere encounters and are supposed to be casual conversations. Now that group is asking if officers are going too far. NBC 10 investigative reporter David Charnes is here with video of one encounter caught on camera. David.
Right. An interesting name. And we're not talking about traffic stops or maybe you've heard stop and frisk. Police say these mere encounters are voluntary interactions actually meant to foster relationships. The commission wants to know if that's really happening. Dennis Jones's doorbell camera recorded him back in June, coming home from a night out.
I'm walking up the steps. As I'm walking up the steps, I'm trying to get in the house. I'm eating ice cream.
At the front door, Jones drops his keys, attracting the attention of two passing Philadelphia police officers. The camera records the officers getting out of their SUV.
You come up a little nervous a little bit, you all right?
Yeah. Why would I be nervous?
No guns or anything?
The officers shine a light at Jones's waist and ask him to smush a bag he's wearing across his chest. When Jones refuses, the officers leave.
So I'm confused on if they were serious, but then once it clicked that they were serious, instantly I felt attacked.
Philadelphia police call this a mere encounter. Mere as in small or insignificant. According to an internal police memo released this month, the department classifies them as consensual interactions, where the officer may ask the citizen questions and generally engage the citizen in conversation. Policy says a person's refusal to comply doesn't mean the officer has any suspicion to detain the person or keep that conversation going.
Just because it's in policy doesn't make it right.
Tanya McCleary is the executive director of the Citizens Police Oversight Commission. The commission is launching an investigation into how often these encounters are happening and their outcomes. According to the commission, preliminary data shows mere encounters make up 6% of police incidents, like the one caught on Jones's camera.
They didn't ask me, do I live here? They didn't say, who house you going in? They didn't say none of that. You dropped your keys. That's giving us the right to get out, to interrogate you, harass you, and bother you.
Philadelphia police were unable to speak with us about this today, but a spokesperson tells us they are strengthening training and policy, and they gave us this statement. It says, in part, the Philadelphia Police Department has devoted significant time and resources to ensuring officers understand and comply with constitutional policing standards, including the distinction between mere encounters, investigative detentions, and lawful searches. The commission is planning to review body camera and reports of all these encounters. They've also posted a survey on their website to gauge your impact at home. For the investigators, I'm David Charnes, NBC 10 News.
All interesting, David. Thank you for that.
Director Grimmage, you're still muted.
Yes, I'm sorry. If you didn't have a chance to see that when it aired, I'm glad we were able to show it so that people can really, really understand what this project aims to do. And what we hope to glean as we talk to the community. So please stay tuned. I believe we can probably drop our survey in the chat in case somebody wants to, take a look at it. But we would like to speak to community members and organize some community discussions so that we can really hear from people about how this is affecting city residents.
And I'll also say that, and I hope we can drop the link in the chat, is that you can also submit this anonymously. We know that sometimes, depending on who you are and where you live, you fear retaliation. So even if you don't want to give us your name and all of that, we still need to hear your experiences. So we don't want people to feel we can take an anonymous information. Right, so that we really want to get a sense of what's going on. And Director Grimmage, if you can also just mention the opportunity to bring a community workshop into different communities in Philadelphia.
Absolutely. That is something we are very, very eager to do. And so what we would like to do is schedule a series of community workshops where we talk to people about their experiences. If people want to take the survey, they're more than welcome to, but it really is an opportunity for us to educate and empower the community about what their rights are. We also want to hear what communities' experiences are. So if you know of a rec center, of a church, of a masjid, of a temple, a youth group, or anyone that really could value this information and would like to speak with us, we really, really would like to hear from you. We also have a link if you want to register to learn more and schedule an info session. So we will go ahead and drop that in the chat as well. Stay tuned for that. I'll make sure that it's in there before the conclusion of this meeting. Next slide. Okay, so we already talked about that. So this was just talking a little bit more about those workshops, so we can go ahead and transition to the next slide.
Director Grimmage, before you change that slide, could we just go back to it for 1 second, please?
Yes.
And not that anything's wrong, but I do just want to highlight an aspect of this because I think it is really important for what you just mentioned in terms of hosting these events, that it is not just to attack policy, but to also address practice. What's happening in the community is practice, right? And they teach policy in the academy and practice looks very different. So the goal is to help people to understand, yes, this is what the policy says, but this is how the practice differs from the policy. And the challenge that CPOC has is to teach people how to do that while also maintaining their safety in these interactions, right? So I want the public to also just understand that this is not just teaching you or informing you about policy, but that the goal is to also empower you to understand how the practice may be outside of the policy and what to do to maintain your safety in that, because I know that is a very big concern. People are concerned for their safety, the safety of their loved ones. So I just want the public to know that this is not just a policy-focused conversation, that CPOC wants to also address how this practice of this policy is impacting our community. So again, thank you for highlighting that, but I just wanted to make sure that the public does understand what these efforts are seeking to do.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yes. Okay, next slide. Yes, yes. So I have just the pleasure of turning it over now to Jose Castaneda. He is one of our new outreach members. Well, not so new now, but I'm going to let him introduce himself and talk a little bit about his role and some of the focus of his work. And I really, really am excited for all of you to meet him and to hear from him. And so, Jose, you can take it away at this time.
Cool. Thanks, Tilia. Hi, everybody. My name is Jose Ignacio Castañeda. I am CPOC's Latino Community Liaison. So I'm kind of the point person for Latino communities here in Philadelphia for anything and everything CPOC. So this presentation is a little bit of an overview of what we've done in the position for the past 4 months. I began in April. So it's a little bit of a recap of what we've been doing, what we are doing now, and what will hopefully come in the future. So yeah, next slide, please. So it's been 4 months, and we have had 14 events that we have gone to and or hosted or collaborated with other organizations in those 4 months. That includes block parties. We've done community cleanups. We did one at the Fairhill Square Park a couple months ago, just on a Saturday, where we went and helped clean up the park and kind of revitalize it. And we've had very strategic meetings with different organizations, including right down there at the bottom right-hand corner, you could see we are at the Consulate of Mexico in Philadelphia, where we gave them a presentation about who CPOC is, what we're doing, my position, and a little bit more about how we could work together in the future, specifically surrounding public safety and any complaints from Mexican nationals. To the left over there, that's Kali and I at Iriana de Jesus's community block party that is with her mother. So that was just recently. And that was a really great experience in terms of being able to connect with the family of Iriana de Jesus, build those connections. Once again, really focusing on that intentionality. As Talia had mentioned before, it's one of those cases that's a very kind of landmark cases here in Philadelphia. So our ability to kind of connect with the family going forward was just really crucial and really appreciated. So that's a little bit of that. And if you go to the next slide, please. Here's actually the list of the 14 events that we went to. So first one was, when the mayor was doing her town halls, we attended one with Ketsi Lazada's office in the 7th district, I believe. So we were there, spoke to some folks who wanted to know more about CPOC, wanted to know more about how to submit complaints. We worked with Congreso, Asociación de Puertorriqueños en Marcha, Concilio, all these different organizations that have been doing the work for so many years. And that was one of the big things when I started and speaking with the team and with leadership, was that we didn't want to replicate any efforts that were already underway. We know that there's so many great organizations already providing services and resources to the Latino community. So we wanted to instead work in collaboration and see how we could fit a part of this, already intricate puzzle. So this is what we've been doing over the past 4 months. You can see there's, the National Night Out. We were at the public safety meeting for the 26th district couple weeks ago at the West Kensington Ministry, right across the street from Norris Square Park. And yeah, it's just really being out in the community, being present, showing our face. And all this has really led to what I think has been a really nice increase that I've seen. I haven't been here for long, but an increase that I've seen of Spanish-speaking complainants coming in and folks coming into the office and just wanting to submit their complaints in person. So I've taken a few complaints in person in Spanish with folks who came in for comfort, for them also fearing retaliation, worrying what would happen if they submitted, online over the phone, and who would get wind of that, so they would come in person. And we are working with actually accompanying one of the complainants during her internal affairs investigation. Just during the interview, she said she felt more comfortable having somebody that spoke Spanish there. So I will be with her during that. So that's just a little bit of the results that we've been seeing so far from attending all these really great events. So here's a little bit more about why and about how we went about this. As I mentioned before, it was very intentional and very coordinated in terms of who we wanted to reach out to and how we wanted to kind of establish this new role within the first year. So we coordinated meetings with Councilmember Ketsi Lozada's office, with Will Garcia with the Mayor's Office of Latino Engagement, with Congreso de Latinos Unidos, Asociación de Puertorriqueños en Marcha, the Consulate of Mexico, and the Office of Immigrant Affairs. So those were really intentional, hour-long meetings that we had in person, virtually, just to talk more about who CPOC is, what this new role looks like, how we could collaborate, how we could help each other. And that has been really fruitful these past few months, just, coordinating events with each other, establishing relationships, and just seeing how we could continue the work that we're all doing together. So that's been really great. And more of the why we did that was just for really specific targeted engagement with the Latino community. We didn't want to replicate or duplicate any efforts that have already been going on for years and years. We just wanted to be able to step in and collaborate with the community leaders and with different organizations. A lot of these community leaders have already been the point person for their own communities, their own neighborhoods, in terms of public safety, in terms of responding to incidents, in terms of trusted spaces. So instead of trying to do that from square one, we're kind of helping to work with them and finding new ways, new pathways to work together. So that's just a little bit of how we've been trying to establish a footprint in these first 4 months. And then I will say today we actually had, in terms of media, we had an interview with our very own Commissioner Gilberto Gonzalez for his radio show, and that was great. And then we've also been featured in Impactos magazine, and they did a story on us about the mirror encounters. So just a little bit what we got going on, but very excited to keep it going. And yeah, lots more to come.
I did want to go ahead and open the floor and see if any of our commissioners had any questions or just wanted to, get to know Jose a little bit more, ask anything specific. If not, we can move on, but I didn't want to, breeze past this because he is just such an important component of the outreach division. So I just wanted to take the time to highlight Jose.
Yeah, it was nice meeting Jose and speaking with Awadi today. Just want to let you know I'm here. I feel underutilized, but again, I'm here to support and do what I can in the Latino community. Again, I've been here in Philadelphia all my life, so however I can help you do your job and reach out, just let me know I'm here.
Commissioner Gonzalez, we are, as I shared with you during the interview, we are thankful for your offer, and we will definitely be reaching out to you, keep you busy right quick. In all fairness, we wanted to give Jose the opportunity to get his feet wet, learn a few things before presenting him to our dear commissioner, understanding the great role that you do serve on this board. So again,
I got a feeling I'm going to regret that.
Yeah, you might. I'm going to give you a call.
We have it recorded. Thank you again, man.
Okay, there are no other questions or comments. I think we can move forward.
And let me just say this as well. I'm so excited about Jose. And as our budget grows, we plan to add some more people that are focused on language access and other places across the city. We are really blessed because this was just a plus. She wasn't hired for this role, but one of the other members of Director Grimace's team speaks Arabic and like 14 or 15 dialects. And so we're looking at, that gift that just fell into our lap and how we can potentially work with her to get out into the Arabic speaking community. But we are looking at pockets of Philadelphia where there are large populations of various folk, and trying to figure out as our budget grows how we can add members like Jose to Director Grimish's team that can really make an impact in the different parts of our community. And so this is just kind of our first, and Jose has hit the ground running, as you saw, and we are looking forward to adding more and more people to the team as our budget grows and for our ability to hire various folks.
Yes, yes. Very, very excited about the possibilities in the future, and as we are trying to, grow as a division and as an agency to have more language access, I also just want to mention that, speaking an additional language is great, but we really, really, which is great, we have, Jose, we're looking for, people that also have the cultural competency to help us navigate different communities. So I just wanted to, make sure people know that as well, that yes, we want people to be able to get in touch with us. We want to be able to communicate with folks, but we really want to learn about what communities need. And so in order to do that, we have to have people that can be a bridge, because all of us know, you can go in a room and different people can get different responses. And having someone that looks like you, representation definitely matters in this city. And so we want the commission to look like the city of Philadelphia. So I'm excited for the future. And if you want to catch up with us.
Yes,
Oh,
I
yes,
also want
yes,
to give
ma'am.
another shout out. So we talked about Sally and her gift, and I don't know that a lot of people know this, including some of the fellow commissioners, but Commissioner Enix Kenny also is an expert in ASL.
Yes.
And so we are excited to start to work with her and to get out in those communities. So we just have all kind of gifts. And I'm glad, Director Grimmett, that you talked about it's not just having people that could do these things, but people like Jose and Sally and Commissioner Ennis Kennedy that have cultural competence as well, right? So that we can really hear. So I wanted to give Commissioner Ennis Kennedy a shout out. She has already helped us navigate that community already. She's already helped us do some work in the deaf community here in Philadelphia. And so just want to shout out that gifting from Commissioner Enos Kenny, and also you heard from Commissioner Gonzalez as well. And so we're just excited about the gifts we have between the agency and the commission.
Yes, yes. And just one more comment. As we're doing our Mirror Encounters, Am I Free to Leave workshops, we want these to be diverse as well. So please, if there are different communities that you know of, we want to have some that are, ASL, access, let us know and we will come with a translator. We will find who we need so that we can have access to people all over the city. So I just wanted to mention that. Yes, so if you want to catch up with us, you can catch us. We will be at the 3rd annual classroom kickoff with Councilmember Lozada. We are going to be at the Family Fun Day. I actually think this is Councilmember Thomas's event, I believe at the end of his summer camp that he has every summer. And then we will be celebrating Black Breastfeeding Week with an organization called BAY, Breastfeeding and Empowerment. And so they will be having a big event in Clark Park at the end of this month. So we will be there as well. If something comes across your desk and you want CPOC to come out, if you want us to give a lecture or talk about oversight, or you want us to bring some resources, please let us know and we will meet you there. I'll pause here in case anyone has any questions for me, but if not, I'll turn it over to our executive director to take it from here.
There's so much to unravel after that presentation by our Director of Outreach, Talia Grimmage. I will now open the floor to commissioners for questions and comments for our Director of Outreach and our outreach staff. Well, I will have a comment. The common theme that has come across in the outreach presentation has been intentional, right? And I just want to thank the outreach team for being intentional about reaching out to our Muslim community who often feels overlooked because of certain practices or whatever reason they feel overlooked. Also, being intentional about giving our Spanish community or Hispanic community a voice within the community, right? Also being intentional about our study of mirror encounters, because for as far as I can remember, the line between mere encounter and investigational detention has always been blurred. So for the outreach team being intentional about doing their workshops and bringing awareness to mere encounter, I definitely appreciate it. I'm hearing, as we are in the comments, I see the Germantown um, uh, Deaf Ministries. I think it is. They're in there, so we have constant proof of and being intentional in spreading the awareness of CPOC, spreading the mission of CPOC, and welcoming our community with open arms, as well as going to our vice chair's class, right, and helping them, educating them on what CPOC is, and going to our Commissioner Gonzalez's podcast. You see a direct, intentional behaviors or planning when we look at our outreach team. We even went to the vets. I heard veterans. The mayor's office, the 18th district. That we've been all over the place, being intentional about CPOC's mission and practices. And I just want to acknowledge that not only the diversity and our and where we go and how we target our community, but the intentional practices of our outreach team. And I just want to say thank you to Talia and her staff for that. Yes, and thank you, Rose McClay, for the Deaf Ministries as well.
Thank you so much to our chair. And I do want to say, Mirror Encounters and Am I Free to Leave? This is a project the entire agency and office is supporting with, but I definitely want to give a shout out and our flowers to our General Counsel, Catherine Twigg, because this is really a labor of love that she has poured her heart and soul into. And we're just happy that it is off the ground and that we are all supporting this so that it's all over the city of Philadelphia. She's not here tonight, but I did want to just mention our General Counsel Twigg, who has really kept this issue in the forefront of the agency, along with our deputy and our ED.
And I also want to just let the commission and the community know that for the last meeting for this month, we've asked General Counsel Twigg to put together a presentation, so we'll be able to go more in depth about mayor encounters, and you all will learn more about it at the next meeting.
I have one more question for our Director of Outreach. Is she still here?
I'm still here.
Who came up with the hashtag We Outside?
Listen, well, I'll put it on the slide. The Gen Zers, the young people, the youth, as they say. We outside.
Well, Director Grimmage, we gonna give him one better. We been outside.
How about that?
We've been outside. Just for the record. But I do want to highlight and echo the sentiments of our chair. This was really great. And I'm going to say this as one who has been an advocate of education being a component of our engagement, is that there is a clear directional turn and there is clear intention, and it is evident in the activities. It is evident in the communities. And I said this in 2020, and I told them that oversight without insight is poor sight. And it is clear that this commission is using its insight and bringing it to the forefront so that everybody is included in these conversations. So I want to applaud you and your team and the commission as well, and the agency, for making these efforts clear in our work and listening to the cares and the concerns of the community and making education a part of the conversation. We can do as much engagement as we want, but at the end of the day, when the water bottles are in the closet and the t-shirts are in the drawer, people will remember what they know. And when we give them something to know that is powerful, we can help give our community their power back. So I applaud your efforts, and I think that if we continue in this way, that we will make a major impact in this city.
That was a mic drop moment. I have nothing to add. Let that resonate with everybody. And then we can move on to the next thing on the agenda, which I think is public comment, maybe. So, all right. And I saw you. Hi, Ms. Roz. I saw her put something in the chat. So, yes.
Ms. Roz put her love in the chat.
Yes.
And she wants to do a community workshop, so we will
All
get back with
right.
her. And Commissioner Enix Kenny, you'll be on deck for that.
All righty. Chair Bennett, do you want to do public comment?
I'll do public comment. You guys know what time it is. It is public comment time. I advise you to, if you have a comment, please raise your hand now. If you if you do not wish to speak and you would like to put it in the chat, please put it in the chat while I am reading it. Be advised that I will be reading our public comment colloquy verbatim, so it doesn't change from a week-to-week basis. And with that being said, let me pull it up. And now, public comment, community comment. We welcome public comment and feedback. If you would like to speak, please tell us now by raising your hand or sending a request in the chat with your full name. You may also submit written public comment through the chat, which we will read out loud. Each commenter will be unmuted and given 3 minutes to speak. Please state your name and address your comments to myself as the chair. Please refrain from using offensive language, threats, and or harassment, or you will be removed from the meeting. While we appreciate your input, we may not be able to respond to your questions or comments immediately. Every attempt will be made to follow up by phone and or email after the meeting. You can contact us at cpoc@phila.gov. That is CPOC@phila.gov, or you can call us using 215-685-0891. That is 215-685-0891. And with that being said, I open the floor to public comments and feedback.
And Carrie, if you can take the slide down so the community can see the commissioners.
Okay. I'm assisting with our public comment. We have Ms. Roz has her hand raised.
Ms. Roz.
Let me see if I can unmute her.
Great. And Talia, if you're the host, if you can take down the slide, please.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name's Rosalind McKelvey. I'm the director. Hello to everyone, especially I thank Miss Tanya McClary, also Talia Grimmage, and Commissioner Kenny. I believe I've said all 3 names right. They have a concern for the deaf community, and the deaf community would love to have them give us more insight, because we had a young man who's deaf and got shot on the 19th of July, and he found it very hard to work with the police on the issue when he was trying to get help. We appreciated the help, but he could not get an interpreter, and it was very hard. He's still in the process of recovering from that shot, but I put it forth that this is a very caring commission, and I really love the fact that Commissioner Kenny uses her sign language skill to spread love. So I put it in the chat already that we welcome this caring commission to empower the deaf community to know that they have advocates in their time of need, and how to carry the cards that are made. They gave us a wonderful card, and he didn't have it on him. They gave us a card of what the deaf should do when they meet with the police. So again, I'm just going to say I'll contact through this office so that the deaf can be reassured that the love we get from your staff can be applied in the street. And I'll put my email, our website is in there, and I look forward to a partnership that even increases over the wonderful teaching and join that they can do, and they come and help us. Thank you so much for my time.
We're still here, Chair, and we can hear you. It's just a little faint.
My fault. My phone was glitching. Miss Roz, how do you pronounce your last name? Did she leave?
No, I'm here. My name is Rosalind McKelvey. Kiss the Blarney Stone. Somehow I'm Irish. Okay, thank you. McKelvey. I can't hear you, but I'll yield back my time. I'm done talking. They can mute me if they like.
Miss McKelvey, I'm also Irish, apparently. McClary, so.
Thank you.
Oh, we can hear you now, Chair.
Whatever you just did, keep doing that.
I didn't do anything.
Okay, well, just stay right there. Just stay right there. Don't move. Your sound is so much better.
Is there any?
I want to briefly mention that the deaf resources that Ms. McKelvey mentioned are dropped in the chat as well, in case anyone may want to access them or save them for their use in the future.
Is there any other public comment and feedback?
No, I do not see any. And now my mic is working now that the meeting is over.
The meeting isn't quite over yet.
I think there was a comment earlier, Carrie. Somebody had asked a question earlier in the meeting.
Oh, I do have a Philip Lockett. He's saying, I'm free to go is 50-50 encounter, and it can go both ways. In fact, any encounter with police is a risk, and it all depends on the officer's attitude.
I think Mr. Lockett did mention a little bit earlier, he had a question about drones, I think. I don't know if he's still here. Let's see, Mr. Lockett, friend to the agency, he spoke very nicely about CPOC at one of the council hearings. Not sure if he's still here.
It does appear he's still in the meeting.
Okay.
Director McCleary, would you like to address that question? His question says, could you talk a little about the police drone project?
Yes. So earlier this year, actually it was during the budget hearing when the police department was presenting regarding its budget. Council member Rue Landau raised a question about their drone project and how much of the funds were being utilized to drones and the advancement of it, et cetera. During that hearing, she also mentioned wanting some more accountability from PPD about the drone project. She also mentioned a model that she really admired in Boston and wanted PPD to actually do some formal things like start giving formal reports to council regarding drones, etc. Since that time, our office, which I'm proud to say has actually been working with Council Member Landau's office to help look at other models across the country regarding drones. We looked at the Boston model, we looked at several others, and are working with her office to kind of be an information hub, an expertise hub on police departments across the country and drones, and looking at how some of the model drone projects are stacking up against the current project that PPD has. And so that's what we are working on right now. I believe that Council Member Landau, when they come back in session in the fall, will be starting to have some more formal requests from the Philadelphia Police Department regarding their drone program. But I do want to say that I'm very proud that she reached out to our office as an expertise, as a resource for that. And so we are currently working to figure out how we can lend our expertise to helping our police department be better by shoring up their policies around drones. And I also wanted, let me just say this while it's not about drones, but a lot of us remember that during Pride, there was some concerns from many community members about how people were handled, or how the police department interacted with people in the neighborhood. So a lot of people were excited that I want to give her some more shout out. Councilmember Landau actually held a hearing. They are not even in session really. And so for her to pull off a summer hearing was pretty amazing. But she brought together members of the Public Safety Commission, and they literally had a hearing this past week, not this week, but last week on Wednesday at Council. They had a panel, including Police Commissioner Bethel, and there was an entire hearing on what happened at Pride and in the neighborhood. And so I would encourage people to go back and watch that footage. You can go back and watch council hearings. There's a lot of work going forward. And so I just want to say that this office has positioned itself to really be an expert on many of these issues. We know that there's a lot of issues around gender inequality, other issues around lesbian, gay, LGBTQ, non-binary folk. And so Oversight has really played a role in that, and we're helping to play a role in that. So we're hoping that we are able to assist any of the council, and also as well as the police department, figure out better ways to interact. They're already starting to think about next year's prep and what happened this time around, but I would encourage people to go back and watch that hearing to see the questions that council members had, as well as many people from the community had. And I do have to say that Police Commissioner Bethel stayed for the entirety of all the testimony that came from the community, but the community really came, and this is why in the beginning when we talk about bridging the gap, about the impact of what happened. And so there was, I really encourage people to go and just hear from people that were there that day. Our very own Director of Administration, Daniel Guy, actually was there, talked about his experience in his personal capacity. He was in his personal capacity, but still as an eyewitness to what had occurred. And so I would encourage people to watch that and just know that CPOC is trying to do what we can to ensure that things that happen like they did this year, Pride, don't happen again, and partnering with those communities. And so we will keep you all abreast as we go forward in these efforts.
Well, hello, I just have a question, Commissioner, Executive Director Tanya. Will CPOC be doing like a summary or a kind of like an updated report on all the data collected during that event, during that incident?
We are trying to figure out the best ways to do some reporting, Commissioner Gonzalez, because we don't have all the data, but we're hoping between us and between the things that have come into the police department that we can really help to put a picture together, and also obviously what Council Member Landau has gotten at her level, because I think that's a wonderful idea, actually. And so we are trying to figure out how we report out on these things. So we'd love to hear from you about some of the things you think would be impactful, as well as other members of the commission, because, you know, as things happen, we do want, as Commissioner, as Vice Chair Rockman just talked about, the education, right? How we need to get the word out around these things. So we are still trying to figure it out, but would welcome any thoughts you have about the best way to report out on it, et cetera, knowing that Commissioner Landau is taking the lead on these issues, but CPOC is right there and want to support her and her efforts, and the other council people that are really invested in this issue, figure out the best ways to report.
Today is Wednesday, August 5th, 2000.
Thank you for that. Thank you for the comment, not the other thing, but thank you, Executive Time.
Really quick, I just wanted to let everyone know that the link to the video, the full video of City Council member Landau and Isaiah Thomas, City Council member Isaiah Thomas, that hearing is in the chat if you want to watch it.
I would really encourage people to watch. It was very powerful. Many people stepped forward. You could tell some people were very hesitant to step forward. It's not always easy to talk about these things and bring them to the light. So I would really encourage people. And once again, this was really, to me, a hearing that really showed that it's not about can the police do certain things, but it's about how you do them and what is the impact on how you do them. So when you bring horses in to an area, when you have bikes on the sidewalks, when people are cordoned off, it just really, I think, just help people really understand. And sometimes when I talk to police chiefs, and I've worked in several jurisdictions, I'm not even arguing with them about can they do certain things, it's how they do it. And it's the same thing with mirror encounters. Can they do a mirror encounter? Yes. But how are you doing it? Are you doing it in ways that, so it's just the impact. What is the impact of what you're doing? Right. And so that's part of our job, is to lessen the impact of policing on this city. So.
There are no more raised hands or any more questions in the chat.
Does any commissioner have any more comments or questions at this time? Do I hear a motion at this time?
Vice Chair Rockman here. I make a motion for us to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Commissioner Gonzalez here. I second that. Sorry, did I jump the gun?
All right, and with that, we have a motion on the table. All in favor of the motion to adjourn tonight's meeting, please say aye.
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 All who disagree and would like to stay for the night, please say aye. The ayes have it. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, everyone. Take care.
Have
And
a
I
good
would like the
evening,
record to
everyone.
reflect this is the fastest the commissioners have responded to a request to adjourn the meeting. So I would like to keep this same energy, Commissioner Gonzalez, next time that I have to facilitate the meeting. Because somehow, when it's Commissioner Rockman, there's a 45-second delay with adjourning. Okay? Just want the record to reflect. Have a good night, everyone.
Everyone have a good night. Bye. Until next time.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Thank you. Do my favor.